Every like, every comment, and every subscriber gives me motivation daily to bringing you guys the best MMA content on YouTube. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, please. It means a lot to the channel. It's fight week, ladies and gentlemen, and you already know I had to start off the week with my prediction video, so let's jump right into it. Let's go ahead and start by breaking down Charles Oliveira. So Charles Oliveira, man, has a wide range of skills. Mostly he's known for his jiu-jitsu and his slick submission ability, but a lot of people overlook his striking. His striking has really improved over the years, more so his kicks, man. The guy throws good kicks. Although, in my opinion, he's always been a good kicker, I just felt like his kicks has improved so much. I mean, he dropped Michael Chandler within, the first second with the leg kick. Not to mention his hands also needs a little bit of credit. He also knocked out Michael Chandler with the left hook. That was beautiful and perfect. Not to mention he's pretty accurate with his punches nowadays. The guy also has great clinch work, offensive clinch work. Man, whenever you get a world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist at the top of the marquee, man, it really brings back the good old days when jiu-jitsu used to dominate the sport. Nowadays, Charles Oliveira is one of the only guys who uses his jiu-jitsu to really dominate the sport, other than, Gilbert Burns, who doesn't really go to it that much anymore. Charles Oliveira will always have this weapon in his back pocket, man, because he can submit anybody in the division. Anybody. Okay, so offensively, the guy is a total package. I mean, he has good elbows, good knees in the clinch. He has good clinch work overall. Not to mention, the guy also has solid hands. And he's just a solid kickboxer all around. I wouldn't say the perfect kickboxer, but he's a solid kickboxer, man. He's pretty good. And now, defensively, we have to talk about some flaws. And that is mainly, bro, the guy doesn't move his head whenever he's put backwards, man. Or whenever you simply go on this guy first. Whenever you look to counter Charles Oliveira, or you simply attack him first, the guy doesn't have the best head movement. Although he has good teep kicks to the body and good round kicks to the body and all of that, his offense is pretty much his defense, man. And he doesn't throw enough to really discourage a guy on the feet to not try and land a big overhand on him, because he is there to get hit. That is my only problem with this guy. And when he gets hit, he typically either goes down or he gets hurt. A lot of people say that it's his chin. I wouldn't even say that his chin is that, because to be honest, we've seen this guy take massive shots from big power punchers, almost go out, but was able to recover. So I mean, if it really is a chin problem, then this fight will be solved pretty early. We'll get the answers pretty early. But if it's not, I say we're in for a barn burner, to say the least. But that's Charles Oliveira. Let's jump to Justin Gaethje. Okay, so for Justin Gaethje, the first thing that comes to mind is obviously leg kicks. The guy has great leg kicks, man. Not to mention, Trevor Whitman has really taught this guy how to technically strike, although he's not very technical in my opinion. He's definitely a lot more technical than what he was whenever he first started. The guy used to just march forward and try to break you with leg kicks and with his hands. And he took a lot of damage in the process. That was not a smart way to fight. Trevor Whitman took this guy and was like, hey man, that's not a smart way to fight. Let's switch things up a little bit. And he has developed his footwork into something special, man. The guy has great footwork. Not to mention his countering ability is great. The only problem is that the guy typically throws overhand, and 100% into his shots all the time. And typically it takes his corner to calm this man down and say, hey man, take a little bit off your shots, bro. You don't have to throw and try and kill the person with every punch you throw. But when the guy throws like that, man, he has power in his hands. Power in his hands. Another thing that we have to mention, which is very important, especially in this fight, is Justin Gaethje's bulletproof takedown defense, man. Bulletproof. Justin Gaethje is a good wrestler. He never uses his wrestling, which is pretty annoying, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to use it in this fight. I think that'd be pretty silly. But the man has solid wrestling, but mainly he's a solid defensive wrestler, which is going to be interesting in this matchup. As for the chin, there's not much criticism because the guy is pretty durable. Yes, he's been knocked out before, but that's because the guy used to just walk forward and want you to punch him. And, eventually, even with the greatest chin, even Francis Ngannou would probably get knocked out at some point if he fought like that. But other than that, man, the guy has been extremely durable, especially since he's become more defensive. Okay, so now both fighters have been given a quick summary on their skills, and they've both been breaking down. So let's go ahead and talk about who I think will win this fight. Okay, so I have to address the elephant in the room real quick, and that is the words Charles Oliveira has been saying about this fight. He's been talking about going to war with Justin Gaethje, talking about he's going to make him pay for his words, and Justin called him a quitter and all this stuff. And it sounds like Justin Gaethje is in Charles Oliveira's head, because Justin Gaethje said that Charles is a quitter and all this stuff. And look, that would probably get in my head too and get me emotional, but man, Charles Oliveira has to come into this fight with a game plan, and he has to fight by it. And I hope his team really calms him down, because if he comes out there trying to trade on the feet with Justin Gaethje and try to, quote, make him pay by knocking him out, this fight will probably be over pretty quick, and it probably will end with Charles Oliveira flat on the canvas, you know? I hope that's not the case, and I hope he really does come in here and fights by a game plan. Other than that, man, Charles Oliveira, like I said, his defensive holes is the only thing that worries me, man, because this fight is going to play out a lot on the feet, in my opinion, because Charles Oliveira, just to put it plain and simple, is going to have a rough time trying to get Justin Gaethje to the ground, especially if he's trying to wrestle out in the open. If he tries to back Justin up to the fence, then he might have a bit more success. But where I think Charles Oliveira will really shine in this fight is in the clinch, kneeing Justin Gaethje to the ribs, elbowing him in the clinch, and wearing him out the same way he did Dustin Poirier. He did a lot of clinch work against Dustin Poirier, and that is going to pay him dividends in this fight if he chooses to go that route. Because Justin Gaethje can get kind of wild, and he starts to throw everything 100% whenever you really make him fight and you bring it to him. Now, I know what you're thinking. Trippy, you just contradicted yourself. You said that Charles Oliveira shouldn't bring the fight to Justin Gaethje. No, he should. What I'm saying is that he shouldn't trade on the feet with Justin, because that will be giving Justin his biggest chance to win in this fight. Charles either needs to stick to the long game, use teep kicks to the body, kick his legs, go back and forth with kicks with Justin, but he doesn't need to trade hands with Justin. If he doesn't want to play the long game, at least get in the clinch, knee him to the face, knee him to the body, elbow him, do all this type of stuff, and eventually take this man's back and submit him. If Charles Oliveira gets Justin Gaethje's back for just a second, whether it's 30 seconds, whether it's a minute, the fight is over. He is going to submit Justin Gaethje. We already know Justin Gaethje's defensive jiu-jitsu is piss poor. It's embarrassing, right? And so, as for Justin Gaethje, man, I think his biggest chance to win is to really stop Charles and sprawl and brawl, you know? Really look to counter Charles, because I believe that Justin Gaethje has the power and the accuracy that Michael Chandler didn't to knock Charles Oliveira clean out. And that is, in my opinion, is what is going to take him to win this fight. If he can stop Charles from taking him down, march forward and hit this man and drop him. If Charles cannot take the power of Justin, like I said, it's either going to be an early TKO where the ref is going to either step in because Charles keeps getting knocked to his back, or it's going to be a wash. Justin Gaethje is going to one-shot this guy because Charles does not move his head. But like I always famously say, I cannot bet on the fighter if his only chance to win is to knock the other guy out. Except if it's this fight, to throw a horseshoe in the mix. Because if Charles Oliveira cannot take Justin Gaethje down, although he's a more technical striker than Ferguson, I just feel like it's going to look a lot like the Tony Ferguson fight, and eventually he's going to get TKO'd. So my final prediction, man, I'm going to pick Justin Gaethje to shock the world. Now, if I get this wrong, I know you guys are going to troll me, but it is what it is. I want to know what you guys think. It's been your boy Trippy, and I'm out, man. I'm going with Justin Gaethje. I'm going with a first or second round KO, and I'm out, man.